meet in the middle of the ring and the stories they tell in the process. This is episode 60. Of course, I'm GB, you got Matt, you have Jake, and we have a fun show in store for you all today. And don't forget that if you're watching this episode, you can leave a comment on YouTube. You can also do so on Spotify and follow us on Blue Sky to join the conversation at rebookedpod.com. Jake?
Today, we're talking about the Royal Rumble. I love you, Royal Rumble, the best pay-per-view of all time. That's what we're talking about.
But not only that, ladies and gentlemen, we're also, of course, going to talk about the fallout and everything that happens after the Royal Rumble.
And don't forget that we are going to talk about who actually won the Royal Rumble. Guys, I think we're talking about the Royal Rumble today.
The Rumble.
The Rumble was awesome.
Rumble was great.
we haven't talked about it at all together all week.
We're not a peep.
So this is the only time that we are talking about this together. Oh my God. I had an experience. I had a moment of just joy and pleasure as I was watching this whole show. It was just fun. I enjoyed the shit out of it. And what was crazier was I had just done an 8 or 9 hour day on VCT Americas just straight. I was so exhausted. And then I got home and then they started it with the Women's Rumble and I was in. It was like the easiest lock in of my life. You know, and then after that, it was just pure joy. Jake, what about for you, man? How was the experience?
Look, there is no more thrilling moment in professional wrestling than the countdown.
Yeah,
in the Royal Rumble. There is nothing, because it's like I literally just, not to steal a bit from The Rock, but it's so fun when you hear that countdown and you hear that who's coming out. There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
There is nothing like it. And it is, I mean, look, it delivered.
Yeah.
I thought it was so fun. It was edge of your seat TV. Oh man, it was a blast.
It was sick.
It was a blast.
I'm trying to find an image of it, but it's kind of hard. And I think I might've found one, but I really love the lower third, that lower third that they had underneath. That was like
the whole time was great.
Tell
how
me
many people are in, how many have been eliminated, what number we're on, who just came in, what number each person. I mean, that was.
Now, for those of you,
why haven't we been doing that?
Now, for those of you who don't know what a lower third is, right? It's basically like you split the screen in thirds, right? And you have your upper third, your middle third, and your lower third.
These names right here above us.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It doesn't always have to literally be a third of the screen.
No, but that's where the logic kind of originated from. So what we're saying here is basically these graphics that they used in the show that was informing everyone really was something that they've never done before, and it was just clever. It was really clever. There was little factoids as the match was going on. You would get timers of who was in there the whole time.
Yes.
I
mean, it was literally, why haven't we been doing that? It added so much to the experience.
Yeah.
So much to the experience that I mean, that's got to be a thing they do from now on. It was,
even little things like, speaking as a commentator, not that there's not millions of resources for you, but it takes a bit of a load off of Michael Cole and Pat and everybody, because normally those are the things you either have to get fed into you. So somebody has to be flipping through a page backstage, or you are flipping through pages of notes that you have, or on your phone or tablet or something. So if it's right there on the monitor, you go, as you can see, folks, I mean, so-and-so has been in here for 37 minutes and 32 seconds. This is their 15th Rumble. Yeah. This is, whatever. They've eliminated 16 people in their career, blah, blah, blah. It just makes you easy to shoot in that note instead of having to be kind of thing. So it was just so helpful. And can I add just a little thing on the entrances? Again, it's so and you can tell it's a TKO thing, more sport like, but the nationality flags in the middle of everybody's name when they came out.
Yeah.
The name, their flag, and then their number.
Because there's a ton of representation in WWE.
People and it reminded you of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was cool. It did make it feel more sporty, which for the Rumble, I think is very, very cool.
Yeah. Go for Jake.
My only negative is that it took a job from JBL. Because remember, he used to do that in the Rumbles where he'd be like, only this many people have made it from this number. And that he had crazy about every entrant number that came in. And it was always so funny to me. I was like, where is he pulling this shit from? It was so funny.
I don't want to say how they did it, but I imagine that playing out because like for me, when we do Valorant, like, as a host, I'm usually getting all the calls for everything that we need. Right. So I'm having a producer in my ear as well as the other two analysts. So I'm like kind of working, like navigating the show, so to speak. Right. But sometimes my other analysts, like one of them that isn't like speaking or whatever, will get like a call from a producer on their own. And then they'll get a note and then they'll be like, oh, hey, you could talk about how Demon One did X, Y, and Z and blah, blah, blah. And then out of nowhere, like they come in with this like excellent point. And I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? They're like, oh, actually, Kurt just told me in my ear. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Like, so it's funny that they went to JBL for that role, where they're just like, JBL, there's this guy coming into the ring right now. He's got, and then JBL's just reiterating the information.
Yeah,
absolutely
but
love
it was always just so random and it made me laugh because he had something for every single number. It was so funny.
I still credit him for that AJ Styles entrance at the Royal Rumble. Like what JBL did there made AJ look like a superstar from literal day dot. And I will always be, as a AJ Styles fan, and having met the guy and worked with him, he's, Jake, just a really lovely dude. Made me really, really happy. And it's good to see though. But back on this one though, it's just crazy to see the innovation that they had with this. I do want to ask a question though. Thoughts on the pyros in the entrances? Because personally, I thought that shit popped off. I loved it. I loved it.
Obviously, it was very limited. It was only, was it literally Charlotte?
It was literally the big guys.
It was Charlotte and AJ.
AJ
had it. Seth had it too.
Yeah.
Did Roman have
Roman had it. Roman had it. Seth had it. The men had it more than the women. The only woman who had it was Charlotte. She was the only one who got it. The men, it was all the big ones except for CM Punk. All the big ones got and Drew, but because his entrance didn't need it. But yeah, like
I'm a little on the side of I think everyone's entrance should be the same.
Okay.
For this event, because as soon as like the pyro went off for Charlotte, I was like, she's winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, so there were a few times where I was like, oh, well,
yeah,
you get to be fair. Jey Uso didn't get no pyro and he won.
True. That's true as well.
That's true. That's true.
But the pyro, I don't know. I kind of feel like, I feel like everybody should be the same. I think it takes away from some of the intrigue and from the, you know what I mean? Like,
so I'm going to play devil's advocate on this and share why I liked it, because this Rumble, the way that it's been built, especially the men's Rumble, was just so well executed with like really elevating the stories. And also to that note as well, I just like the way that they structured this Rumble. And there's
both
actually
Rumbles were booked very well.
There's actually a really good graphic here that I'm going to pull up real fast that actually shows like the track of, like when the eliminations happened and stuff. And I'll probably like add this I'll try and add it somewhere on the Discord or whatever. But the reason why I really like this is because you can kind of see like where they started. And if you're watching or if you're listening, rather, it's an image showing it's a graph of the Royal Rumble, who was in there, how long they were in there, and who eliminated them. And it's every single wrestler. And it's actually structured quite nicely. You could see,
and on the bottom, you can even see like the amount of people in the ring at a given time.
Yes, at any given time, like 10 wrestlers. 10, yeah, that's actually really cool. Now, what was really dope was at the beginning of the Rumble was like the Chad Gable arc, right? Everything was related to some extent, not everything, but most of it was related to Chad Gable. Whether it was the Luchadors coming out, right? So you had the Rey Mysterio bit. He had a run-in with Santos Escobar. Then Otis came came out, and then Braun Breaker came out. And when Braun Breaker came out, that's kind of like when business kind of started to pick up a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
And then from there, it was like they basically just took their mid card and was like, all right, guys, go freaking nuts. And then they had them do their thing. And then Joe Hendry came out. And then Roman Reigns came out. And then Finn Balor came out. And it's
Drew.
like, and
Yeah.
so, well, sorry. Yeah. Drew. I mean, like, guys, that was crazy how they blocked it out, Jake.
To me, yeah. And then to me, it was the moment later on where it was John Cena comes out and then Cult of Personality hits.
Right here. Yeah.
And CM Punk comes out. And then Burn It Down. Seth Rollins music hits. And it's like, oh my God.
We have
5 people in this ring who hate the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Who just came out back to back to back to back to back.
Think about
and
this
then
list.
We were talking. Remember, we were talking in the live chat on our Discord, link down below. We were talking in the live chat where Matt, you and I both were like, okay, who's the foil? After all this, after Cena, after Punk, after Seth Rollins, after someone there has to be a sacrifice.
It was the perfect person.
And it was freaking Dirty Dom. He was the perfect choice.
He really was.
For the next person to come out.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just the way, the order that they did it all in. It was
that's
perfect.
an art to itself. Booking the Rumble and eliminations and entrance orders and everything. I do credit to the people who do that. It's a team effort usually, but that is an art unto itself.
Now, let me ask you a question, because you've been in a Rumble.
Yes.
How is that built? Is it because I know there's a rehearsal, but is it like there's? I mean, like we didn't have a rehearsal, or do you have? Oh, really?
We got pulled into the room. Now sometime, and I think the women have had actual rehearsals. You don't go like entrance for entrance, move for move. But like, no, it's what the guy, they pull you all in a conference room and they go, we're going to read the order. Okay. They usually don't tell you the finish. Like, all right, here's going to be our final 4. Now get the hell out. But they're like, here's the orders. Here's who you're eliminated. We're just going to go through. So-and-so enters, so-and-so enters, so-and-so enters, so-and-so is eliminated, so-and-so enters. And they just kind of read through it.
Okay.
And like, they
read the order of
the entrances and eliminations
at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's smart. So it's like, okay, so-and-so, you got to get dumped before they come out. Or you got to,
if you know that Damian Priest is coming out, we know we need to get Aiden English out of there before that happens. So you have a rough idea of like, I've got 2 to 3 minutes in there. I've got 5. I'm going to get 10 minutes, whatever.
So then who do you go to people? Because obviously there's like, when everybody comes in, there's that moment of like, all right, I'm going to get my stuff in, and then we'll go into the Rumble. Do you go talk to the people who were there before and say, I want to do this, this, and this? Or is that something that you kind of do?
Yeah, you kind of have an idea of like, and you can see there aren't too many things where there's like tons of people around. They usually keep it kind of flowing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you see who's in there, and you're like,
you just talk to like a couple of them, and you're like,
yeah, what's the shine? Okay. Maybe I'm going to do 2 or 3 things, or like, hey, you have multiple producers on this match.
Right.
So they'll help out and be like, all right, people should be fighting. And then when so-and-so comes in, we need 3 people to feed for them, for Jordynne Grace. She's going to give 3 people something. You guys figure out what that is, whatever.
So then, and that was my next question, which was how is that determined then? The order. So now it's basically like, okay, here's the skeleton. Now go ahead and fill out the rest of fill in the blanks, right? That's really cool.
That's awesome. That's really so cool.
Now, and then you just let them know, like, hey, we have this idea for a moment here, like with probably the Jordynne DVD,
so they can call attention. Yeah.
Like, hey, we're going to do this. After she does a couple of things, she'll do a thing with Piper. And when you see her lift her up, that's when all cameras should be here. moments like that, or we're gonna have a near elimination where somebody's feet is dangling, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Where but that's a lot of talent just coming up with it and then working with producers to see where it's gonna fit.
And
Nice. Okay.
but now, so then in that instance, then my next question. Sorry if we're grilling you so much on this. It's actually quite
it's just-
fascinating now.
Yeah, I love this shit.
And then of course we'll move on to talking about who won the Rumble. But I think this is worth discussing. One thing that I noticed that whenever people get in there in the ring and then they do the thing and they do their stuff, then they just go around, they find someone to just randomly punch. How does that process go about? Are people just like, I know who are the people I have to randomly punch, or I'm allowed to randomly punch? Is there anyone that you cannot randomly punch?
No.
So you can just run up to anyone and just randomly punch them?
You usually do.
That's great.
Like you'll be dumping.
Where you're just like, shit, you don't have anything to do. I'm gonna come fight you.
I'm off camera for now. I'm all right. We're just cutting in the corner, and then I don't have anyone to do, so I'm just gonna go hit that guy on the back. All right, bro, I got nothing else to do.
So now you're having this conversation
I love it.
as you're doing it in the middle of the ring. So what, like, run me through, like, you're in the Rumble, you're just squaring up with someone in the corner. Were you guys like talking in that moment? Or what are you talking about?
People are talking in every match ever.
Yeah.
By the way,
No, I know that, but like, are they talking about the match, or are they just
how
talking?
much talking is happening
Like,
during the Rumble?
it depends. I mean, again, if you're someone who's in there for the long haul, you're in there for 30, 40 minutes. Yeah, you might be even just joking around depending on where you are. But like when I was in there, I had about 2 minutes before I got eliminated.
Yeah.
So like I wasn't bullshitting too much.
Yeah.
But it was just like I was doing dropped a couple of people. And my funny Royal Rumble story is one of the biggest embarrassments of my career, actually.
Oh no.
Oh, well.
In a way, but for me, because if you go back and watch the 2018 Royal Rumble and I come out, like, look, I wasn't coming in there and like dropping people left and right because I was a henchman bad guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but like I came in, I knocked a couple people down. John Cena was in there, and Cena was. Again, my head was like, I'm only in here for like 2 minutes and Finn Balor has to eliminate me. And we already talked about it. I need to be in the corner, stand up. He does the big Inzi kick and I tumble over the rope. So I was so nervous about, and I need to be out of here before so-and-so enters. So I wanted to be on my game. So I was like, I'm going to come in, drop 1 or 2 people and then just go to the corner until like I hear so-and-so's music and I know, but then now I got to go find Finn. But I was so locked in.
Yeah.
If you go watch that Rumble, John Cena, like 3 times comes to me to like, let me beat him up. And like I hit him and I turn away from him to go to like Jey Uso or one of the Usos, somebody like that. And he spins me around. He's like, give me another one, bro.
Oh, man.
No
And
way.
I put it down and I go back to someone else. When I came back, Luke Harper, John Huber was like, dude, the biggest guy in the company was begging you to kick the shit out of him. And you kept turning away. What were you doing? I was like, I know. I was so in my head about just getting to the corner and getting to Finn in time because my time in there was so short that I avoided John Cena, who was always very nice to me. So I'm sure he was just trying to do me a favor of like, hey, kick the crap out of me for 2 minutes.
What a guy.
Go get eliminated.
What
That's
a guy.
incredible.
Dude, he's the best.
Yeah.
He's the best.
That is definitely one dude I want to meet one
What
day.
a story.
That's my peacemaker right there. Let's really dive into the fact that none of us got this right. Actually, give me a second because we kind of sort of got it right. You see, because
Check out our TikTok and Instagram.
That's right. And I believe it's actually kind of sort of popping off. I could be wrong on this.
It's doing well.
It's doing well. Let me see if I can actually link this. But yeah, so basically, long story short, Jay called it, as he usually does.
As he often does.
As he often does. Here it is. And let's go ahead and show this here. High in the sky. He's got a legitimate shot to win too.
Think about this. What happened on Raw on Monday when Jay was standing on that table and he was like, guys, I can beat him.
Yeah.
I can beat Gunther. I lost to him, but I know I can beat him.
That's a realistic pie in the sky, though. Like a very real pie. Realistic pie in the sky.
I would call him I'd call him a dark horse. Maybe that's my dark horse.
Jake, there you go. So that was the dark horse pick from Jake, and
that guy has a point.
And that guy was right. And it turns out Jey freaking Uso won the Royal Rumble. Okay, but we'll get the obvious out of the way. No one ever saw that coming, you know, and not because we don't think Jey Uso is great. In fact, if anything, it's that history has taught us that the guy who is giga over with the company does not really win the Royal Rumble ever, you know, like because Jey Uso's not just like over, right? Like this man is
nuclear.
I have never, in my time watching wrestling, I know maybe it's happened a few times, but I've never really had an instance where a wrestler's come out and he's about to talk and the crowd is so into it that they want them to play the music again.
Encore of his intro. I've never seen that.
I've never seen that. Matt, you might have, but I've never seen that before. And I thought that was really cool.
For certain rare.
Yeah.
And look, something I wanted to point out too, like this is what people have always wanted the Rumble. And it can't be every year. Sometimes you got to go with established characters and stories. But often this is what fans always want, like somebody on the rise who hasn't been that cusp yet. And so I'm looking right now. We haven't, I would say, here are our last winners before Jey: Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar, Edge, Drew, Seth. And then in 2018, I think the last one, Shinsuke, when he got his world title match with AJ at that WrestleMania. That was the last guy who they kind of used the Rumble to prop up and kind of capitalize. So like it's been 7 years of top guy, main event guys, former world champions winning the Rumble. And so it was so fresh and exciting to kind of have it as this launching pad once again for somebody on that rise.
Yeah, and on that rise he is. He comes out in Monday Night Raw white hot. The audience is losing their shit. Like we said before, they played an encore of the song just so that they could yeet some more. It was it was just like this wild thing. But then, you know, he gets in and after a while he starts cutting this very emotional promo. And, you know, you really... Like, look, let's not beat around the bush here, folks. We understand that professional wrestling is a scripted, narrative-driven show that, you know, and yes, the things they're doing in the ring is very real. But, you know, we know that the results are predetermined and stuff. That being said, there's something to be said that when you are the Royal Rumble is a big event.
And the lines blur.
And the lines blurred, but there's also the reason why it's so, I can imagine, so emotional for Jey and Matt, you can even attest to this, I'm sure, is because winning the Royal Rumble is essentially the company that you work for telling you that they believe in you.
It's you're being given the ball.
That is like outside of the, it's my dream to win the Royal Rumble. Like you think about it from a work standpoint, from like corporate or whatever, right? They believe in him. They believe in Jey to sell out Las Vegas. Whew. That's heavy, man. Like
you could make the argument that it's often like they've taken risks on, you know, hey, let's pull the trigger and give this guy a world title run. And then it ends up being a month and whatever, right?
Shout to Jinder.
So in some ways, winning the Rumble is almost as big or bigger in some cases than even winning the world title to begin with. And this, I imagine, as it will probably lead to a world title win for Jey, which will be his first, which is always a great story. But like, yeah, because like we're now going to build this is a huge moment for us in general in our calendar, but now we're going to spend the next 2 months, 3 months building you to the biggest event, and are going to rely on you and that story and your character and what you've done to now help draw in people for that event. Yeah. So it's more than just taking a creative risk and putting the title on you for a couple weeks. This is a bona fide stamp of belief and approval.
Yeah. It's awesome. I'm really, really stoked for Jay, but we'll talk about what's next for him in a second, because there was also another Rumble winner, our women's Rumble winner. And this one was, this was a Rumble that we haven't really talked about it that much, but it was also great. I think that the women's Rumble most definitely delivered for a matchup that definitely could have been overshadowed big time by the men's Rumble, heck, even by the world title matchup. It could have been overshadowed, but it wasn't, because there were some really cool moments. Some of those cool moments, like Trish Stratus comes back, that was cool. Nikki Bella showed up too, that was great. But Jordynne Grace rolled up officially as part of WWE, as noted by Michael Cole. That was cool. And, you know, I'm sure for you, Matt, it's a little bittersweet seeing Jordynne go, but
sure, no,
but it's
dude,
like, it's time, right? It was time, you know?
It's why, like, and it might be bittersweet if I were the ones booking the territories, writing the checks for TNA, but I'm not. I'm on the ground. I'm talent. Everybody from AEW to W, everybody in those locker rooms, that talent level, dude, we just want to see everybody doing well, getting big stages. It's just another, if they can do it, we can do it, kind of thing, and all that stuff. So there's no denying that that's one of the biggest stages. So and she's awesome.
She had such a great showing.
Great showing.
Bro, that DVD was wild.
That was amazing.
That was awesome.
I can't believe she pulled it off.
Great moments. Yeah.
That, and shout out to Piper Niven as well, because that was also, like, I'm sure, a lot.
Can I make a little special shout out in the women's Rumble while I wasn't sure if we were going to talk about it more until before we get to Charlotte, etc. My 24/7 champion of the Royal Rumble, Rebooked 24/7 Rumble champion, dude, Chelsea Green. He prays on a lot, but like, she had multiple like character moments where we're all watching her.
Yeah.
The number of times she tried to team up with people only to get her ass kicked, to her almost not getting in the ring at one point and sneaking out under the bottom rope, to her elimination with accidentally via Piper, and the face she gave on camera, which was just like iconic meme material almost. She's
a legend.
You're lucky if you get one of those moments in a Royal Rumble, like, hey, I'm going to do a thing with my character, and then you get eliminated. She had like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So shout out to Chelsea.
And now that we know everything about the Royal Rumble, that actually is quite a big deal. Go for Jake.
And she set a record in the Royal Rumble, the longest time in the women's Royal Rumble as United States champion. So
that's true.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations to Chelsea.
Oh, it was great. There were some big ones, man. We had,
let me tell you, the 2 of the 3 biggest pops for entrances.
I know the one you're going to talk about.
Were TNA talent.
Yeah.
Because Hendry got a huge pop. So did Jordynne. Everybody went nuts for Jordynne. When I heard that siren, I was like, let's go.
But it was the 3rd one, though.
But Alexa Bliss.
Dude. That shit was astronomical.
Holy shit. That was one of the biggest pops I've seen at the Rumble.
I think Edge was the only one that I remember being like that deafening, but that was because like no one saw that one coming.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But this one was equally as big.
Shit.
And she didn't just come out. She came out, looked like a fucking star. She had.
Yes.
I'm
oh
really.
My God, her jacket.
I'm curious to see what they do with the character. I want to know what they do there. If it felt like she was not the Sister Abigail thing anymore.
Not to the same. It seemed kind of like spooky rocker gothic kind of stuff, but not straight up like. I don't think she'll be doing Wyatt's 6.
Yeah, no, I think she's just Dark Alexa.
Alexa, it's just her new era. Her new era. I'm into
which
it.
Which I'm fine with. I get I think she'll be great pulling that off.
Yeah.
Now I think it's a great mix of her previous gimmick and the one that she just did. I think it's great. 2
things. First is the NXT of it all. I definitely got to say that it's nice that they fill it out with NXT talent, but man, I I got to give it a little bit more time because I haven't watched a lot of Stephanie Vaquer, and I haven't seen. I know Julia's like incredible. Same thing for Stephanie, but yeah, it definitely wasn't one where if this was like meant for a showcase for your NXT Women's Champion and North American Champion, I really didn't hit the mark for me the way I would have liked it to. But that's also okay. You know, that's fine.
I thought Roxanne Perez showed out.
She looked like a superstar. She looked amazing. Yes.
I mean, the fact that she came in at number 3 and was the Iron Woman of the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And like
they are pinning a lot on her future is
what was her time? Her time like beat some of the
an hour 7 and 47 seconds.
7.
Yeah.
That's one of the long. I think it was one of the longest times ever any Rumble anywhere.
She's the prodigy for a reason, man. She's so talented. Yeah.
But that moment with her, oh God, who was it? It was her and Julia and Stephanie Vaquer, and they were lined up with like Naomi and Bianca and I forget who, but it was like, you know, the present versus the future kind of moment.
Yeah.
I loved that. But
I thought it was awesome. Know what was the best part about this Rumble was the amount of generational representation. Right? Yeah. How freaking awesome was it that we got Trish Stratus in the ring? We got Nikki Bella, who came after her. We got Charlotte Flair, who came after her. Like you had just Roxanne Perez, who's coming after her. Like you had just such amazing representation of the past, the present, and the future of your division in this Rumble. More so than the men's, even though the men's was fantastic. I really felt like this one, there was like a clear moment where I was like, we're never going to get this again. Like this is never going to happen again. We may never get to see Trish Stratus and Nikki Bella in the ring at the same time together. We may never get to see Roxanne Perez or Jordynne Grace go into a matchup against Trish Stratus. Like we may never see that. You know what I mean? So I really, really like that. And I thought that was awesome. But speaking of the Women's Rumble, though, the most predictable finish of all time. Charlotte Flair wins, comes in at number 30, only person to have pyro. Kind of obvious. And it was so obvious that unfortunately people are really not thrilled about it. And now I don't want to get into the dirt sheet side of it because that's pointless, but it's going to be really hard to tell a good story out of this if they want Charlotte to be the good guy in this story.
Stop trying to make fetch happen. Stop trying to make Charlotte a face. She's not. She will never be a face.
I think you said fetch.
Yeah, I did say fetch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's from Mean Girls. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not happening.
I caught it. I was like, wait, is that what you meant? Okay, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
that is exactly
you're right.
Stop trying to make Charlotte Flair a face because she's like the second she was born, she was going to be a heel. She is the child of Ric Flair. There's not a face bone in her body. Like, just let her be a heel.
But like, I think she wants to be a good guy, though. That's
you could feel it a little on Monday. The idea going into it was, I'm gonna give an authentic, tell my story, but then to her credit, she tried to she heard the reaction and tried to kind of vibe with it of like, I don't care if you boo, I love all of it. So you can tell she was trying to turn the Titanic a little bit, but I'm with it. I think she's in her, I've said it before, I think she's in her like Roman Reigns 2015 arc where people are just like, we get it. You're a chosen one. You're really good at what you do, but we're kind of sick of seeing that at the top of the card whenever you're around, even though she's been gone for over a year. But people are just like, so that I'm like, when are we getting our tribal chief arc? You know, just let her be the bad heel and let us want to see her get her beaten.
Yes.
But you also have to, I don't know. Part of me also is kind of, I feel a little bad because it's like, you could tell you could tell they just wanted to.
She wanted to tell her like real story of being like, I struggle.
And that's fine. But knowing
people won't take it.
Right. But also knowing the reaction that she was probably going to get, like do that in like a pre-tape segment.
Yeah.
Do that in a pre-tape segment or something else that's away from the crowd. Or hell, even if it's backstage, like just something that lets her get that out without the crowd being much of a factor could have changed that. I think doing that live was
also, if I can give feedback, but sorry, I was just gonna say one last thing. They shouldn't have done it on Raw. They should have just waited. They should have given it a week. They should have done it on SmackDown.
You can't do that.
Overcrowded, but Jay overcrowded that. So like, I don't know if they would have given.
It would feel real weird to not hear from her.
Yeah,
really, not like even though
dude, you've got to follow up with both your winners. It's like that's one of the you have to capitalize on it. It's like saying us to give our Rumble reactions next week. Why?
Yeah,
you got to stay on that.
How dare you?
The other thing I thought she could have done, it's such a hard thing from a character, from a performer perspective. But look, I would look back. I almost looking at it now, think she shouldn't have tried to even tongue-in-cheek lean into it.
Agreed.
Look back at like when John Cena used to get booed really heavily. He wouldn't lean it. He would just kind of like, I get it, guys. Like, I get it. But let me talk to you. And he would just kind of bring it down and get real down to earth. And people would... When people still boo, but people at least start to listen. If you start jabbing back at them with a little bit of like, yeah, I get it, you hate me, I don't care about it. But if she would have just been like, I get it, I hear you, but let me tell you what this last year has meant to me, and just kind of go through it being very
she
real.
tried, but it was a tone.
It came across as defensive.
A little bit.
You know,
a little bit.
That's not so, but with them.
Which makes me just curious. Obviously, they're kind of running. Getting back to like the story between that and between her interaction with Rhea and her what she's talking about going to NXT and all this stuff, they're clearly running very like to use a term tweener with her, and I think they are going to kind of just feel out how these weeks go. Yeah. Knowing the way they're working now is like I think they're gonna. All right, we see that reaction. Let's hear it. Charlotte can do both. She has a good babyface kind of rah-rah story if she wants it, but if they're not buying it, we can pivot. We've seen them do it before.
Yep, we have.
There's a history. So like, yeah, they if people are not buying it, whoever she ends up choosing, God, we can make Tiffany Stratton the biggest babyface in the company heading into Mania potentially.
Yeah. You have a great opportunity to do that.
If that's the story that plays out right, you never know.
You have a great opportunity to do that. I'm really interested in the Charlotte Tiffany Stratton interaction because that is very much like looking in a mirror, between the two of them, right? Gifted athlete, has got the whole, blonde gimmick going on. She went the Barbie route. The Charlotte went the more like Queen route, but they very similar, in their in the way that they approach it, just with different eras of like Tiffany Stratton's definitely that kind of person. Like I think if Tiffany had come up around that same time as Charlotte Flair, she would be doing the same gimmick that Charlotte Flair did.
They both came knowing Charlotte as I did, and knowing what I know of Tiffany, was like they both came to WWE kind of as a fresh path. They weren't indie wrestler. Even Charlotte wanted to, following her dad, following her brother specifically footsteps. So she was kind of fresh, higher off.
But they had super athletic background.
But exactly, and so they adapted both very quick. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, both of them, I believe.
Yeah, they were both people who were kind of recruited or brought in with no wrestling background, pro wrestling background, and like adapted really well athletically and everything like that. And playing, there's so much. Last generation, this generation kind of stuff you could play off of, but I'll be very curious.
Yeah, it's cool.
If that's where they go.
There is one last thing that I want to talk about, and then we'll move on to the road to WrestleMania. It's actually kind of connected. You were watching Monday Night Raw last night, as I'm sure we all were, right on Netflix, right there on our phones as it was skipping out nonstop. And because they had a really bad.
I was like, boy,
they had a tough encoding, whatever it was.
I was like, man, they're really like building up the Wyatt Six again. I was like
taking their time.
But there was something that was said in it where now they've changed the wording of how they approach the Elimination Chamber, and I actually really dig it. They were very deliberate, and they were like, the winner of the Elimination Chamber will face whoever Jey Uso doesn't pick because he won the Royal Rumble. And I understand that this is a thing that they have done before. This isn't anything new. I mean, heck, they even did it for the United United States Championship at one time. So it's not like this is anything all that crazy.
Right, yeah.
They've done weird things with the chamber, but there was something about this like very intentional wording that just felt very sport-like. And it is very clear, Matt, they're going sports. Meat sports.
Yeah, they're trying to play into the kind of just the realism, the stipulation of it, because I mean, we may have a decision before Chamber, and if we do, I think it'll be much more clear. But I like that we're already setting up the Chamber. I think I wasn't sure how I felt about it for a while, but I like that Chamber. It's now that like backup plan, right, for everybody. Rumble is the big thing everyone focuses on. It's like, frick, if I can't do that, it's Chamber time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm setting my sight. You immediately have something else that everybody's looking forward to. And I like in this, even though we have a brand split, the idea of like everybody's qualifying both shows to get into that Chamber, because we don't know which title is going to be chosen by our Rumble winner. So we're just, and so to state it like that, of just like, whoever, basically you don't know what title you're fighting for yet. Like right now, CM Punk doesn't know what title he qualified to get a shot at. But it makes it a little exciting from, again, storyline mode in that character's head. I'm like, I don't know who I don't know who I'm fighting for the opportunity to face, but I need my hands on gold. That's what it means. That's the risk we're taking.
I really dig it. I really dig it. It gives us an opportunity to just move on to what this is all really connected to, which is the road to WrestleMania. And really the question is, now that we are on the road and now that we put gas in the car, we've ignored the fast lane and we are now going straight through the new road to WrestleMania. Let's talk about what we want to see here for these next few minutes. First thing, we got to talk about John Cena. I think he is the story. Could be wrong, but it feels like he could be the story. First one to announce for the Chamber. He was second eliminated by Jey Uso in shocking fashion. Jake, we talked about this.
We did.
You talked about this, right? I believe it was you.
Well, here's something too. I don't know if you saw the promo that Cena did at the press conference after the Rumble. Did you see that at all?
It was good.
Yes. Well, I only saw when he announced for the Chamber. That was it.
Yes. Does that promo, I don't know, strike anyone as a little heelish?
I see the angle you're coming from. I don't expect that to be the direction or lane it goes. I did not immediately take it. I see where you're going though. There was an era. There was an era of, and he said it like, I've earned it.
I'm
sorry if you don't like that kind of thing.
Because his whole tone switched. His tone is entirely changed. Because before it was like, I'm happy to be like, hey, what happens, blah, blah. But John Cena's tasted blood now and he wants more.
Yeah.
It's a little how it feels where he's like, I got it. Look, it's been a minute since I've been in there. It's been a minute since I've won anything. And I was so close to that Rumble that now that I have that taste, that fire is back.
Yeah.
And I think it could be interesting because if we talked about like, I mean, he's going for like a year, right? You can do a pretty sweet character arc with John Cena in the year's time, I think.
Yeah.
Because it would be interesting. I mean, like, look, Cena, from everything like we've been told and we understand, at one point after it was supposed to be after the Rumble, he lost to the, or not the Rumble, the WrestleMania, he lost to The Rock.
Yeah.
After the Mania, he lost to The Rock. He was supposed to turn heel. He had gear made. He made a new song.
Oh, wow.
He was going to turn heel. He was ready to do it. And then they called an audible and didn't do it.
It's because of that I got a free set of gear while I was at FCW.
Are you
no
serious?
shot.
Because, you want to hear another little story?
Go for it.
Because of that, his gear maker at the time, Sue Katulski, lived in Tampa, and he came in one day, right, this was shortly after I started, and he was like, hey, I had all this stuff kind of ready to go. He's like, I prepaid Sue to make me like umpteen different versions of this gear. We're not using any of it. She goes, what I'm going to do, again, John Cena's the best. We started the John Cena Scholarship, and every month the trainers would pick the best recruit who was performing well that month, and they would get like a $500 to go to Sue and get a piece of gear made.
No way!
And
That's
I won
amazing.
it 1 month. Yeah, and it lasted for like 2 years.
Awesome.
That actually is amazing. It's just another amazing thing that John Cena does. Jesus.
That's so cool.
And that's how I got introduced to her, and I ended up going to her for my gear for the next like 2-3 years.
Wow.
Well, my point is what if that piece of shit turned heel?
I don't see it.
No.
I'm just saying, what if he just got a little darker and because remember, this goes along the whole point that I said is like, what if we see him actually rise above the hate? What if we see him actually never give up? And we see him to, this is his last chance, and it feels more like a like, I don't know, like Gollum in the One Ring. Like I want number 17. Let me have it. Let me take it.
I don't know where it
maybe
goes.
starts to wear on him a little bit, and he's like, and it becomes I have to get 17. This is my destiny. This is my mission. This is and not saying maybe he doesn't go.
I know.
Maybe he doesn't go full heel, but maybe it's a little reminiscent of the Doctor of Thugonomics.
I like it. I don't see it, but I like it.
Yeah.
I know. That's the problem.
I feel like he has too much goodwill. Because like people are already sharing that press conference promo, like, oh my God, this is why John's the best. Because he is, and he has earned it and all that stuff.
But listen like, to it with an ear of thinking like, what if
yes,
listen to it from the perspective of if he was a heel. It's gonna. Now it sounds very entitled. It sounds very. I'm throwing my weight around. It's very. I don't care about anyone else except what I want and what I feel I deserve. And like every great heel, he's still right.
Dude, if he had, people didn't like it at the time. I still think it was a great heel turn. But if he had a Stone Cold WrestleMania 17 moment of sorts, like if he's trying, like you said, it is that Gollum ring thing, and it's him and Cody, and at the right point, just kicks him in the fucking balls or something.
Yeah.
And just had to do what I had to do. Attitude adjustment, whatever. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And we run through the summer with him as a big heel champion or something. I don't see it, but I like it.
Yeah, I
don't know.
I want
even in this new era where they take risks and they tell these own stories. I think he's too much still of a moneymaker. They want to sell the fucking T-shirt and everything.
Yeah, they gotta sell the T-shirts, man. That's the important part about it.
They still would.
And they still will. Fair. They still will. So okay, but real fast because we don't have a lot of time, and if we were to do this, we would be going forever. And I want to try and keep this under an hour, so only a few more minutes here. But Cody, now I do gotta say something about that match because we didn't talk about the Kevin Owens Cody match. And
let me tell you,
go for it.
Going on?
Let me tell you, the Royal Rumbles were so good that we forget the fact that there was, in my opinion, an early match of the year candidate.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Yeah.
With Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes.
I'm going to rewatch it. I don't rewatch matches a lot. I want to rewatch it.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah,
it was.
It's so good. It was really good.
Was incredible. I mean, I was edging my seat.
You were edging your seat?
I was on the edge of a little bit. A little bit. But like, halfway through, Shauna asked, she was like, why are you standing up? And I was like, I have to do something with this energy. I can't it was the same way I get during like Alabama games sometimes where I'm like, all right, we need this drive. This is a big drive. We need this. That's how I was watching this match.
Yeah.
And I mean, like the storytelling within it and the, like, it just, Oh my God.
It was excellent.
It was so good.
It was excellent.
Ugh.
It was excellent. It was,
Yeah.
but look, we can go on about the match and we probably should, but I really want to harp on the ending moment.
Yes.
Because I think that, and I will be honest, I was kind of not into the way that they did it, because it was so obvious that they were doing it. Like he did it like 3 times, Cody. So essentially he goes and he grabs the title and he celebrates, and they're doing some very deliberate camera shots where you can see Kevin Owens struggling on the ground and then Cody celebrating. So it's very clear what they're doing here is they're setting up this narrative that Cody has become heartless and winning the title has made him heartless, and that he has
awesome camera shots.
There really was. There really was.
And stuff too.
There really was. Across the board, it was incredible. The production in WWE's been hitting. It's really been impressive. But I really want to hold on to that because I think that it ties to John Cena. I actually would like to see a world where Cody does in fact go the Homelander route, but then John Cena's never give up attitude digs Cena or drags Cena out of the pit of despair that he finds himself in. That's what I want to see happen. I almost as if like John Cena is, the better angels, right? And Cody Rhodes and maybe Randy Orton is the demon, the devil on the side, and you can have that story too. I think could be really compelling, like, because I still want to know what's going on with Randy Orton. I don't want them to drop anything with what they had built with Randy, but I really do think you could do something fun with Cody and Cena. And
you think Cody is a bad guy?
Yeah. Because that whole thing really hit home that Cody is aware, and the commentary did a brilliant job of this too. So shout out to those guys, but they really hit home that Cody is on his own now. That Cody, he beat up his friend, his only friend here, and he destroyed him, right? All for the title. And then when he wins over the carcass of his friend. Those are bad guy things that you do. And I'm not saying Cody's going to become a bad guy, but I think that the story is going to be maybe a little different, that Cody's doing bad guy things, but actually isn't a bad guy. And he's like desperate to maintain his title.
I mean, everybody's been the Homelander Cody that memes have been gone around since he came back. And I mean, what if that thing we just talked about with Cena and a possible turn? What if it just happened with Cody? He kicks Cena in the nuts.
But that's why I think that the never give up attitude's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it, Jake.
Look, if any of them went Superman 3, where he's given that synthetic kryptonite and becomes like an angry alcoholic, like that's, and then like after his exposure wears off, then he becomes good Superman again. That's what I want from Cena or from Cody Rhodes. I want that so bad. Yeah. That's interesting. That is an arc to watch someone go from good to bad to then realize what they've become and have this redemption arc. That's fun.
Yeah.
Like, give me that kind of stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot, guys, where we could really spend the entire time. This will be a 2-hour show, and we can go on for days. But the good thing is that you wonderful people at home can keep up with us by joining us on Discord and being a part of the conversation. We've been joining in the spoilers chats during Monday Night Raw, Dynamite, and we've just been yapping and chatting with people. So if you want someone to watch pro wrestling with and you just want to chat, you don't have to listen to hear anyone. You just want to chat. You pop off on a text channel. There's a space for you right in our little community. Now, usually at this point of the show, we will do our Royal Rumble picks of the week, and now that the Rumble's over, we need something new. So we don't have a graphic for it. But
not yet, but we will.
Not this time around. But folks, I would like to introduce to you, Jake. Why don't you go ahead and hold up the cards real fast, and I'm put the camera on you, because it is Jake's Retro Ripping.
That's right. This past Christmas, I went home, and in my dad's house, in my closet, I found 12 unopened packs of WCW trading cards from 1991.
Holy crap, dude. That is so awesome.
Unopened. So what I've done, and I will give you two the opportunity to do it first this week. I have numbered all of these packs 1 through 12.
Yes.
All right. And each week we'll take someone out of the, I tell you what, if you want to be part of this, then join our Discord. I'm going to open this to our Discord users for this first week.
I love it.
I want you to tell me what number pack you want me to open next week.
Do it.
That's what we're going to do. So go to our channel, go into the episode spoilers channel in our Discord and tell me what number pack you want me to open next week. But first, gentlemen, I will open the bidding to you two.
Ooh.
Which number
1
pack
through
shall
12.
I open first?
You know, I feel like let's just go for broke. Let's do number 1. Let's
Number
do
one.
number. What do you think, Matt? Number 1?
I was either gonna go number 1 or lucky number 7, but I'm good with 1. Let's just kick it off chronological style.
Chronological. Number
Here we
1.
go. Here is the first pack that we're going to open on Retro Ribbon.
I have
Here we
no
go.
idea what to expect here.
Oh, this packaging is terrible.
Oh
Okay,
my-
here we
ugh.
go. Here we go. Here we go.
Who we got?
In our first pack, let's see. Oh, right off the bat, we've got the Stinger.
Hey,
Let's
the
go.
Stinger.
Right off
Let's
the
go.
bat,
Love
we
it.
got Stinger. All right.
Love it.
Here's
Love
the
it.
first
Love
one.
it.
Oh my God, what a pack. Number 2.
Get
Ric
out of
Flair.
town. Holy, this is
Let's
crazy.
go. That's fantastic.
I love these card designs. They're really nice.
All right, here we go. Number 3. Steve Armstrong and the Southern Boys.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh, them Southern boys right there.
Yep.
Okay.
The Southern Boys, Steve Armstrong, the fabulous, their toughest opponent.
Hold on. Hold it up again. Hold it up again. Favorite hold, the flying tackle. No,
Yep.
is that saying flying tackle or flying tickle?
Flying tackle.
Okay, I was
Flying
about to say
tackle.
the flying tickle
All right,
would be
here we
something
go.
else.
Because back in there, any move
It's called a hold.
Was called a hold.
That's crazy.
Right. That's right. All right, here's a Sid, baby.
Whoa, with the freaking singlet or whatever they call that, like with the actual gear on, not just the trunks.
Yeah.
Holy moly!
That's right. That's right.
I love it.
All
Love
right,
it.
we got another Ric Flair here. We're doing a
Variation,
suplex.
a variant. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
good variant. Good
yeah.
variant of Rick.
We have another Southern Boys for some reason.
Wait, is that a different one?
But this one has both of their information on the back. Tracy
Okay.
Smothers and Steve Armstrong.
Tracy Smothers. That just sounds like a news anchor from the 80s.
You don't know Tracy Smothers? Oh, Tracy Smothers is like.
Here's the next one.
Do I wait? Am I actually
Missy Hyatt.
I mean, he's well known in the wrestling world. Missy. Oh God,
Missy Hyatt. That's
Missy
the next one.
Hyatt? Not to be confused with Missy Elliott. You know,
True. That is
Yup.
true. Oh, right there with JR. Look at a young JR in that photo.
whoa, good.
that picture
Oh,
there.
I didn't even notice that. I was like, who's that Trumpian-looking person there?
All right, here we go. The greatest spine buster of all time.
Spine on the pine.
That's right, baby.
Holy moly! By the way,
the Enforcer.
did find out a Tracy Smothers. Here they are.
hell yeah.
Yeah, there's here are the Southern Boys right here. Look at that. Pretty awesome.
All right.
How many
here we
cards you
go.
have left?
I've got 4 more cards.
Oh shit.
Flying Brian Pillman, baby.
Oh, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that is cool.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go. Doom
What
with
the?
Ron
Young
Simmons
guy.
and
He was a
Butch
wrestler
Reed.
first before he killed demons.
That's right. With Ron Simmons.
And Butch Reed.
And Butch Reed.
Butch Reed.
Yeah. Wow.
Here we go. El Gigante.
Oh, he got without the terrible outfit on.
Yes. Oh, horrendous.
Dude, man, there's just
Look at that. Shoe size is 21.
no ring gear looked
He's a
good
big
on
boy.
him. No ring gear looked good on him. We've realized that.
And then the final card in this pack is Terry Taylor.
Terry Taylor.
Terry Taylor.
Rooster, my man.
There we go.
Holy crap. Yeah, that is the Red Rooster, Terry Taylor.
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
That is amazing.
That is our first pack of WCW cards here on Retro Rippin'.
That's right.
Let's go.
I love it. We gotta find something to do with these cards. I don't know what. We'll think about it, but if you have any ideas, let us know.
Let us know in our Discord.
Yeah, let us know in our Discord.
You tell me. So number 1's off the table. You choose now, 2 through 12. Let me know
in the
what one you want next.
In our Discord, make sure you join up there. Description will be down below, so make sure you join us on there. It'll be a good time. But that is going to do it for us here. Great. I mean, guys, there's so much to be pumped for.
So much that we didn't even cover.
There's so much we didn't even cover. Tonight, you have SmackDown. We're probably going to see Charlotte talking to that Sting one's so cool. We're going to see Charlotte probably talking to Tiffany Stratton. Hopefully, Jey Uso's out there talking to Cody. We might get more movement there. We're going to see what happens with the US title. There's just so many things happening. Chelsea Green. Oh my goodness. It's amazing. And you got to come right here to hear it all be yapped about, my friends, because next week we're going to be talking more AEW stuff on our Wednesday show. And as always, on our Friday show, we have some WWE goodness. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you all next week. Watch some more wrestling and we'll catch you then. Peace.